Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Happy Cat Crypto here. So as part of my previous video, I thought, I've said about things that were said during the TR meeting. I should really address them and put them forward to the community because it seems like, I don't know, it seems like people have been paid to shut up or something. It's a bit strange really. So I've got a few clips because I have listened to the 3-hour video. I think I've listened to it around 5-6 times now just to digest it all correctly, and some of the things that have been said in it, it's just disgusting. So I'm going to start rolling off some of the clips here, and let us know what you think in the comment section.
It's always wanted to just do that. We will, if the community doesn't want to pay for Rebel Station, we have another investor that is considering funding that, and then it will become a Terra Rebels product, and we will monetize it.
I think I'll just rather have us cut a deal with this Italian dude. If he's for real, then he's working with the biggest media company in Italy.
Well, if he's...
So first, I'm just going to pause it there. Who is the Italian person? Very strange to know that things were going to just be sold up river. You know, if we don't play ball, we're being sold up. We'll go elsewhere. Okay?
If he's got 300, 400k a month to pay us, sure, let's cut a deal with him. Let's do that now.
Well, I mean, from the scope of what he wants done, he wants something that is vastly more complex than what Terra Classic is, and vastly more scalable with a lot more layer 2 work, and he doesn't seem to have a development team at all, right? So I'm assuming...
But does he have money?
I'm assuming he has, because he will know in January, right? He said he will be able to pay for remote work in January, and that would mean that we would be able to say, okay, here's the development team. Matt is the, program development manager. Tobias is the lead dev. Soro is a dev. RagePie is a dev. Front-end dudes are devs, because we would have to build an entire new Cosmos SDK chain from the ground up. Yeah. With all the custom modules that you need and all the front-end integrations, and we want to wire in the smart card as well, so we can start doing business with our friends in Egypt and stuff like that, right?
Business with friends in Egypt. We're only a minute and 29 seconds into this first clip. I've got 3-4 more clips to go through. This is one of the things that really has got to me as to, why are all of us building and pushing this movement forward when these people in this meeting are ready to sell everything upriver for money, because they're not getting what they want. They've got all these different plans in play, and they were just ready to sell us all. Each and every one of them was ready to sell everything up the river, build a whole new blockchain, utilize the technology, and just move elsewhere.
We can do both. We can do the Italian or the Egyptian or whatever chains we need to make. And if the community on Lunc wants to pay us, good. If they don't, fine. But we shouldn't just stop and be like, oh, we're only going to work for Luna Classic, because that's obviously not viable. After these 2 billion or whatever is in the community pool, which is going to disappear in the next few months, and maybe there's another billion that's going to be replenished by then, it's not going to be viable for us to work in Luna Classic, or at least for a period of time until the funds are replenished. So we need to start thinking about working with outside sources. If there's a guy that's Italian, or there's a guy that whatever other country, and he wants to pay us to build the chain, then let's do it.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we're already looking at that. I mean, that's why we're talking with the Neblio guys. Not just because we think that they can pay us 10k a month, but because they also need a development team for their chain, and we can see that they could do a better job of having a Cosmos-based chain as well. So yeah, exactly. I mean, there's no limitation on who we work for, and there never was. We just came here to help fix this chain as a community group, but now we're looking at whatever commercial opportunities present themselves anywhere, right?
All right, so the next step would be
we're going to move to the next clip.
I understand that, but until Rebel Station gets paid for, I don't care. they can
No,
suffer.
that's fine. But my point is that if we could afford setting up an extra region, that would be fine. If we can't, then we can just wait for them to pay for it. But
it's not that we can't. It's just that we should conserve the money we have and only spend it on things we actually need to spend it on, right? So there isn't a need for this, and the people who would benefit from it haven't yet paid for the work. Haven't yet paid, exactly. And so we should conserve that money to make it last as long as it can. We don't know if or when Neblio may choose to stop sponsoring us, so it's better to preserve that money.
We need money for
it's fine.
Startup
I was
costs,
just under the assumption that we were we had to spend 10K out of the 20K every month on infrastructure.
No, we only get 10K.
We have to spend 5K out of the 10K.
Oh, I thought we were getting 20. There you go.
It's 5 of 10 we have to spend from the net.
We don't have to spend it every month either. We're getting 5K a month that has to go towards infrastructure, but there's no stipulation that money has to be spent over any particular time frame.
Let me open the book. Every time that I spoke with them, they don't. In the reality, they don't care where the money is going. They just want to sponsor the independence and the growth classic. And by the way, they hate decay. That's the whole conversation was on that. Reading between the lines, they want us to help them developing their own blockchain at some point, because they are not very bright. So at some point we will have some kind of other income, if we want to work with these dudes, because they like Raider said, almost sure that the devs that they have, they are not the best devs, and they cannot even do simple things. Simple, not for me, of course, like Explorer or even a proper wallet or.
Poor Neblio.
If I can add something to that again just fits into the whole blockchain consultancy business narrative, because inherently what we should propose Neblio is that we port their blockchain to Cosmos and help them facilitate moving users over and airdropping tokens.
So we'll move to the next one. These are just snippets, by the way, folks. When I move to the next, there's nothing more to show. It's ended.
Hey, give us $350,000 a month approach, and people weren't willing to pay for that. So
we haven't tried that. When did we try that approach? We haven't tried.
I would argue that first we tried the Alex proposal on the multi-sig stuff, then we tried the Rappi proposal on the multi-sig stuff. Then we had this.
So you're hearing there that them are saying we've tried different things with different proposals with different people. But hold up a minute. All of these proposals were supposed to have had nothing to do with Terra Rebels, and Terra Rebels each time said it's nothing to do with us. So why all of a sudden?
That first we tried the Alex proposal on the multi-sig stuff, then we tried the Rappi proposal on the
Okay, let me go back to the beginning.
Hey, give us $350,000 a month approach, and people weren't willing to pay for that. So
we haven't tried that.
We haven't tried that.
Did we try that approach?
When did we try that?
We haven't tried.
I would argue that first we tried the Alex proposal on the multi-sig stuff, then we tried the Rappi proposal on the multi-sig stuff. Then we had discussions with other people. I think we've had lots of debates around trying to resolve this funding issue. And in my perspective, there is not, $200,000 a month worth of funding anywhere.
The scariest part about all of this is what is contained in this is each and every one of them, I don't see how any one of them are not as bad as the other in this video, because it's all, and I get it, it's all money. Like, it's all totally money. And I get it. They needed paying. They needed to do all these different things, but it's just like they never did it. They never got together. They never got under one banner. They never did all these right things. But the most important thing is that they were, who is the Mexican person? Who's this Egyptian person? Who were they going to, move to and start building another blockchain? Were they going to start siphoning off the Lunc community? Where would that have left us? And yeah, it it totally sucks to hear all of these different kind of like things of them all kind of bickering with each other. You know, we just won't give them Rebel Station. Oh, that's down to them. They can suffer.
They tend to act in identical
It could
ways,
be, yeah,
right?
it could be.
I honestly, I've spoken, I
Doesn't
mean,
matter,
Alex
because-
is one of the people I've spent most time with, right, talking with and so on. And I've spoken not a lot with Rabbi, but from talking with him, you would have to be really good at manipulation to be Alex and have that type of conversation.
Alex
and
is
Alex,
very good at manipulation.
So now they're discussing if Rabbi is Alex.
He's good at doing what Donald Trump does, which is fake news and half-truths, right? But that, I think, doesn't necessarily make him a master manipulator the way that you are. I think more it's in the sense that he understands which buttons to press in order to get a response from certain people in the community, and he leverages that to whatever ends he feel.
Well, I'm not going to give him the ammo to do
some
that,
point,
and that's
so
the whole point, right? No ammo to
Yeah,
give.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, people need to remember that these monkeys that flying shit at us, they're just a very, very small part of the community. They're very
Yeah,
loud and they talk, but ultimately that's not going to matter. The people that stake, the people that like the stuff that we do, they voted yes to our proposal and they'll keep voting yes to our proposals. So what?
Boom. And this is what comes when there is this higher issue of people just like, yeah, you know, I just trust them. I just trust them. We cannot continue to just keep trusting people that were part of groups previously that just had this attitude towards things. This clip now, which is the final clip, is them pretty much saying, if we drown the correct people out, it won't matter because their information will not get to the people. They'll get bored, they'll leave. And this is just this thing of, you know, lobbying against people to remove them from the situation. And it just, I see the same thing happening again, where it's just like the information is totally dictated down to a T who it goes to. We drown out the correct people who can't question our moves, what we're going to do, ask too many questions. We get all the correct people on side and then we move forward with this. No, this is not right. And there's so many things that are off during all of this.
You have a less than 1% or what God knows what their percentage is of people that are like on the extreme side. You're always going to have this. This is never going to change.
Yeah, that's right.
That's true. That's true. I can see that on my Telegram group. It's like I have normally on that group is like 500 persons active every single minute, and then when we release a proposal or when we do some controversial news or whatever, then you have 5 or maybe 10 persons there, but they are so fucking loud, you know. But in the reality, they get diluted because they lose the will to fight back, because then it's 500% that are active that they will shut them down.
Boom.
But that 10 persons or 5 or whatever,
this is just disgusting. The fact that, you know, people will be like, well, I've got enough followers to just, you know, shut someone down by diluting what they're saying and get people against them. This is just disgusting. And these are the things that are going on in the background. And because the clip was so long, because it was leaked, and the likelihood is I'm going to get messages about this from people saying, you know, if you don't take it down, I'm going to put a lawsuit against you and all of that sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, the information's leaked. It's out there on the internet and it's public information at this point. You know, I didn't leak it. I didn't do anything. The community deserves to know this, and anyone that messages me wanting this to get taken down is only trying to hide the person that they are.
they get really, really loud. On the other groups is a little more, on Twitter is a little more, of course. And the problem is that they are loud. Yeah, and you are right, Venus. If we keep giving them TV time, you know, they are just going to grow. If we just ignore them, is the best thing that we can do.
Boom.
That being said, my little bug sometimes doesn't.
It's not fair. It's not fair that these things are going on behind closed doors, and there's all these different people like, you know, I'm not privy to it. The amount of people that have said to me, I just don't know about the Neblio thing, Jay. I wasn't part of it. It was Matt and Vegas that did it. But from what I heard inside that video is each and every one of them actually thought they were getting paid more than you know, than they was. And there's so many of these different things you know, it's just not good. And it's not good that no one has really, I think the only person to have addressed this is Lunc by posting the video on YouTube. But people aren't going to sit there and listen to 3 hours of it. And if they are, the likelihood they're going to miss these key little parts which really do show the true colours of these people. It's the first clip that really gets me, of them saying, you know, well, we've got all these other client bases and we can just go do all these things with them. It doesn't matter about the Lunc community. And then people are saying, you know, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. But it seems to me like each one of them entrapped the other one, and each one had this plan to more or less seize power. And it just became a Game of Thrones of, you know, how can I manipulate this person to get them to do what I want to do? And how can I use this person? All right, if we don't give them TV time, they're not going to be able to get any information out. And then it just leads up to this. And then you've got people like me who are getting paid like £400 a month from YouTube to do all of the work that they're doing, provide all of the content that they're providing, for clowns like this to be sat bickering over tens of thousands of pounds and like, you know, we could get this much money, or we get this much money. It's just all of these things going on. And I feel the Lunc community just has no idea what people are really like. And it's just disgusting. Let me know what you think about all of that in the comment section. If you want these video clips, they're in our Telegram group. Feel free to head over there. And like I said, anybody who messages me about this wanting it taken down, they're only trying to hide who they really are. We all deserve freedom of speech. No one deserves to be drowned out of information. It's disgusting. Let me know what you think. I'll catch you in the next one.
Our revenge is made possible by listeners like you. By listeners like you. Our revenge is made possible by listeners like you.